It's nothing to it. Matter of fact, you can ask hard and I'm cooking too. Base guard cooking too. Nah, look at you. Great mind, they embrace mine like a crooked too. 4 takes, that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, stop me. 4 takes, that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, you got me.
What's up, everybody? Come on in. Welcome into First Take on this Feel Good Friday. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Molly Karam here holding things down in Bristol. Your boys are in their hometown of NYC, and as you can see, Stephen A is already hyped. Max too. Fellas, how we doing?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Doing great, ready to go.
Let's do it.
All right, let's work, and you know where we're starting. Russell Westbrook went hard in the paint again with his 26th triple-double of the season. The Thunder snapped their 4-game losing streak against the Cavs with the Big Three playing. Now, the Thunder's next home game, Stephen A just mentioned it, will have even more eyeballs on it as Kevin Durant makes his much-awaited return to OKC, where I don't think he'll be receiving a warm welcome. How do KD and Westbrook feel about the reunion?
I can't wait to see the people that I really built relationships with over my time there. And, I'm sure fans that I got to know throughout my time playing there, even though they might not cheer for me out loud, I'll give them a wink, and they know what we have deep down inside.
You know, obviously Kevin's done a lot for Oklahoma City and our team when he was here, so it's kind of up to them. It doesn't really matter to me one way or another. It's a basketball game, got to go out and compete.
Are you going to tell them anything? You need him?
I don't talk to nobody during the game.
Oh, the drama. Katie's ready to see folks' true colors. Stephen A., what do you expect?
Well, I expect the crowd to boo Kevin Durant, but booing him not because of venom and hostility that they usually aim their ire at when they do things like that, but more so because in support of Russell Westbrook. I think it's one of those situations where Kevin Durant, the human being, is hard to boo. He's had his moments, even against people like me, where he hasn't been, on the up and up. But for the most part, he's an incredible individual. He's an incredible basketball ambassador. He's a good man. He's done a lot for that community and various communities throughout this country. He's very philanthropic and charitable. We know about the $1 million donation after the tornado, and we've seen a lot of things that he's done throughout his 9 years associated with that franchise, 8 in Oklahoma City. It's hard for them to justify having any true venom for him because he doesn't deserve that. He's a really, really good guy. The flip side to it, however, is that the manner in which he departed and the way he left Russell Westbrook in the lurch, followed by Russell Westbrook's willingness to stay on board, sign an extension, and basically tell the city of Oklahoma City, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. He might have left, but I'm still here. And then to turn around and perform the way that he performed, I think you're going to have a city that's basically saying, you left us because you, in the end, were trying to say you couldn't win a championship here without Russell Westbrook. We're not going to hate on you, but we're going to love on Russell Westbrook. And if we have to do that by making life a little bit uncomfortable for you, although we appreciate you a great deal, that's what we're going to do. I think that's what they're going to do, Max.
Yes, they're going to boo Kevin Durant because he left them in the lurch because, as you said, Stephen A., they're supporting Russell Westbrook. But I doubt that most fans in OKC have real venom toward Kevin Durant. Look, before Kevin Durant got to OKC, before the franchise moved, and then they got Durant, OKC was known as the parking meter capital of the world. I mean, like that. What was the reputation of Oklahoma City? No one thought about it, and when they did, what did they think about? Kevin Durant, more than anybody, put that city on the map, and the residents there, the denizens of Oklahoma City, I'm sure are aware of that on some level. So, of course, the guy who left you in the lurch leaves, comes back. The way he left you, the fact that he left you for your rival, the fact that Westbrook shows all the kind of characteristics, not only in terms of loyalty and his staying, but in terms of the mental toughness and attitude and everything. And that was even apparent when they played together. So, yes, they will boo Kevin Durant because of all those things, but it will lack the venom that sometimes is accompanied with a returning player who left their team in the lurch because of what I mentioned. He put that town on the map, and they have to be aware of that.
Well, I don't think it's just about him putting the town on the map, Max. I think that, again, you know, his greatness was one thing. But the thing about it is that, he, you know, again, he was incredibly charitable and generous to that community. He wasn't a guy that just showed up and played great basketball. He was somebody that gave back to the city. That's why the city loved him so much. And I think that, you know, in the end, they're always going to recognize that. A matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't know this to be a fact, Max, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if we discovered that Kevin Durant was still giving back to that local community in Oklahoma City, because I really believe he's that quality of a guy. And when you say all of that, again, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But doesn't that feed some of the negative feelings in the sense that if you looked at Durant and you looked at Westbrook and you had to guess who was going to leave, you'd have guessed Westbrook. UCLA wants to go to LA, whatever, you know, whatever the rumors were. And Kevin Durant was known as, at least to the public at large, small town kid, liked the small town feel, loyal to the franchise, and as you just mentioned, also the community. Soft-spoken, not hyper-aggressive like Westbrook. He seemed to symbolize, he seemed to be emblematic of what they were going for in Oklahoma City. And the fact that it was that guy who left and the other guy that stayed, if anything, to me, that seems like, to fans, especially as you've been harping on, left to the team that you should have beaten in Game 7. So it's not like even the residents there can think, well, yeah, he had to leave because he had no choice. He wanted to win a championship. They got to be thinking, dude, you've been to a finals. We came that close last year, and with Billy Donovan now, we're going to get there, and now you leave? I thought you loved it here. I thought we loved you. Wasn't it Westbrook who was looking to go and you looking to stay? If anything, to me, that fuels it, no?
No, I don't. I don't think that fuels it at all. I think what ultimately fuels it is the fact that when Westbrook decided to stay and they knew they could embrace him as their own, because remember, originally he was approaching free agency next summer, and you had the specter of that hovering over the franchise, and then he immediately neutralized that upon the departure of Kevin Durant by saying, I'm going to stay. Now he's an adopted son. Also, I wanted to remind you that, you know, as somebody who's been to Oklahoma City on many occasions, those fans, I think their personality mirrors that of a Russell Westbrook, Max, more so than a Kevin Durant. Those folks are rabid, man. I mean, they're really fiery about that basketball team. I mean, I think Oklahoma City has one of the best fan bases in the entire NBA. They show up and they show out. And Russell Westbrook's, you know, blue-collar mentality, the rough rider that he is, they love that stuff. So I wouldn't say they're more leaning towards the Kevin Durant personality than the Russell Westbrook. I really wouldn't say that.
That's why I said to the public at large it seemed that way. If you look at the Oklahoma City fans, what you're saying also supports the idea of a little more venom toward Durant than maybe is anticipated, because, you know, if you are that kind of fan, then you always have suspicions about Durant versus Westbrook, who is more fiery. All of a sudden, that guy turns around and leaves and then comes back. Is that going to be a good reception?
Well, to me, the reason why it will be somewhat of a bad reception is because when he left, everyone threw and drowned Russell Westbrook with questions about how he left because of you. He left because he didn't believe he could win a championship with you. And I think inherently you have a whole bunch of folks in the locals that thought that was incredibly unfair to Russell Westbrook. You're in a Western Conference Finals. You're up 3-1. You're 48 minutes away from a berth to the NBA Finals. And y'all can't close the deal. And we're looking at Russell Westbrook as the reason why instead of one of the top 2 players in the world. That doesn't work for a lot of people. And I think when they looked at Kevin Durant, the manner in which he lead, that he didn't go to Russell Westbrook's face, that he didn't look at him and explain to him, bro, I love you like a brother. It's just what's best for me and my family. This is what I want to do. I just want change, etc., etc. That he didn't do any of that. That when they saw Russell Westbrook on camera saying, I found out like y'all found out, I think inherently a lot of people looked at that, particularly the locals in Oklahoma City, as something incredibly disrespectful to Russell Westbrook. Not to mention the fact that you didn't know, Max, meaning they believed, but they didn't really know how Russell Westbrook was going to respond from this perspective. If I'm getting that shrapnel of inquisition, of probing, of cynicism attached to me, doesn't that inherently make my season, my upcoming season, that much harder? It wasn't just that Kevin Durant left. he didn't make life easier for Russell Westbrook upon his departure. And it wasn't just because Kevin Durant was leaving. It was because Russell Westbrook would be there having to answer all of these damn questions. I think people recognize that.
And in fact, when you look at the breakup, as it were, in terms of who's winning the post-relationship, that's obviously Westbrook. Durant has misspoken several times, intentionally or not, has created more controversy. They're unselfish in Golden State. What is he implying about, or what can we infer about that? What is he saying about Westbrook? Westbrook then has to answer those questions. Westbrook smells cleaner and cleaner in this, and Durant, his reputation has suffered even in the post-breakup phase. Also doesn't bode well for the reception in OKC for Durant tomorrow.
Speaking of controversy and reputations, let's get into the other hot